Hi, fangirls, and welcome to It's a Fangirl World vlog. This is where we share our love for all things Disney with a little added girl power pixie dust. I'm Kim, and today we're going to be talking about the newest land at Animal Kingdom, Pandora, the world of Avatar.
And I'm Steph. In our last vlog, we talked about advanced dining reservations and our top 9 tips for how to score the most coveted ADRs at Walt Disney World. So if you missed it, be sure to check it out on our YouTube channel after this broadcast. On It's a Fangirl World, we talk about a different Disney topic every episode, from the parks to movies and beyond, all while celebrating the amazing contributions that women have made to help make Disney what it is today. So you can expect tips, updates, and more, all by fangirls for fangirls.
And for our fanboys, too. A quick shout out to those of you fanboys who are also watching our episodes. Thanks for joining. If you like what you see today, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a vlog, or leave us a comment to let us know what topics you'd love to hear more about.
And if you want daily fangirl fun, go follow us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/itsafangirlworld. We post new content there every day, and we always encourage our fangirls to chime in. Something new and exciting this week is that we have a very special contest for you fangirls and fanboys to win a Pandora Lithograph courtesy of Destinations to Travel. So we're going to have some more information on that a little bit later in the show, and be sure that you watch really carefully because there might be a clue as to how you can win. Now, on to our topic of the week, Pandora, the world of Avatar.
Pandora, the World of Avatar is the newest land at Disney's Animal Kingdom. It's based off the 2009 film Avatar by James Cameron.
There was a lot of controversy when Pandora was first announced for Animal Kingdom. Many people said that it just didn't fit. First of all, it's based on a fictional place and story, while the rest of the park represents real animals, plants, and environments from around the world or from the past in the case of Dinoland USA. Second, while Disney and Pixar stories help bring to life messages of conservation at Animal Kingdom, Pandora is based on a movie that isn't even associated with Disney. It was distributed by 20th Century Fox. And third, it took forever. Disney began development in 2011, and it took until 2017 to open. Avatar might have been a hot ticket at the time, but its pop culture status is seriously in question now. And that's a lot of time and money to spend on something that people don't care that much about to begin with. At the time of the original announcement, it really felt like a knee-jerk reaction to the success of Wizarding World of Harry Potter over at Universal. So for me, it's 3 strikes and you're out. Now, I haven't seen Pandora, the World of Avatar in person, but Kim, you got a chance to visit, so what are your thoughts?
Stephanie, I was one of those people who had the same reaction when Avatar was first announced. I felt like Animal Kingdom was the wrong place for this land. I really thought Studios was a better fit. It really seemed with the movie theme like that's where it should go. But my mind has changed since visiting. To be honest, I really don't associate the area with the movie. I've seen the movie, but it's like a brand new area. And I really wish they went in that direction to begin with, creating their own new area. It didn't necessarily have to tie into this movie to still have the same or similar elements that it does have. They could have created the Beastly Kingdom that they originally threw out a long time ago. But either way, I'm really happy with what they did, and I no longer feel that it doesn't fit.
I mean, I agree. Fans have been really clamoring for Beastly Kingdom, and actually there's a great article about that Forgotten Land over on WDW Magazine. I'll put the link up for you fangirls now. It's by touringplans.com, Disney Dish Podcast, and WDW Magazine, and it's really, really interesting. So I suggest you check that out for a little bit more information. But now, Kim, I really want, since I haven't been, I really want to hear from you and know more about why I should maybe check my skepticism at the gate there.
Well, like I just said, it's really a separate place. I have a feeling like when I walked into it, I really was not feeling like stepping into like this movie world that had been created. I really felt like I was stepping into a new land. I mean, Disney does a great job with theming. So as you enter and you hear the sounds and you hear and you see all the environment, it feels like you're in an environment, just like they make you feel when you're in Africa and on the safari and you really feel like you're part of this environment of Africa. It really feels like you're on Pandora the Moon. I mean, but separate. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the movie. It just feels like you're in this other land, this other world filled with these other creatures and these other plant life that could very well exist somewhere else on Earth that we've just never, ventured to.
For sure. So now, how do you access Pandora?
Well, you can access it by several different ways. Once you cross Discovery Island, where the Tree of Life is, there are two ways that you can get to Pandora. The easiest way is to make a left right there in front of the Tree of Life, past Pizza Safari and Tiffin's. Yeah. And once you pass Tiffin's, it kind of directly merges right into Pandora. There's a bridge that you cross. And it almost made me feel like Tiffin's was part of Pandora just because it was a very seamless transition. And then the other entrance is actually through Africa, and it's located near the Festival of the Lion King. And that one is a little bit longer of an entrance to get to it. You're walking for a little bit before you actually get to it. And when I was there in June, I did a Facebook Live on our It's FanGirl World Facebook page, and you can see how long the line was from in Pandora all the way to Africa, the Africa entrance.
I remember that, and it was a very, very long way, actually. Now, I hear that although the land only has 2 attractions, it's actually a really great place to stop and smell the roses because of the, interactive alien plant life.
Yeah, it's true. And that's, again, one of those things that I really love about this area. Through the main entrance, past Tiffin's, one of the first things that you're going to pass, and you could walk right past this and not even pay it a second piece of mind, is a Pandora plant called Flasca reclinata. And if you rub, there's this red, purplish spot on the side of the plant. And if you rub it, just keep rubbing it, you stay on that long enough, it's going to release their toxins into the air, which is just a small mist into the air. A lot of people, we knew about it, so we were, going over and touching it, but there was a lot of people passing who turned around and came back. They had no idea that the plant reacted to your touch, and some people thought it just kind of did it on its own. And then there's also listening to the sounds of the inhabitants and animal life, because you hear, and I can't say what kind of animal it is because I really don't know the animals that you're really hearing, but you're hearing the creatures as though you're really there. Joe Rohde once said, the more you look, the more you see. So this is really true about Pandora. You have to take time to notice things. For example, at night, in the queue for the Navi River journey, which starts outside and, with all the surroundings of the woods and everything, you can catch glimpses of bioluminescent plants that are reacting to animals traveling through the trees. And it's like you get these little glimpses of, it looks like LED lights, I don't know, but you get these little, and it took me a while. Someone else that was with me told me about it, and it took me a while to find, but once you see it, you really are seeing the life in the trees. So even the queue has this life to it. But you have to wait, you have to pay attention. And if you go to visitpandora.com, you can learn a little bit about some of the plants and some of the animals for life on Pandora, because it's all made up.
I really like those little touches, and actually I follow Joe Rohde on Instagram, and for those who might not be familiar with who he is, he's one of the most influential Imagineers ever, and he has a huge following of Disney fans. And he posts on Instagram about his travels and work with Disney and all sorts of things, but he's been posting lately a lot of the details of Pandora and how they were actually informed by things from our own world, and I find that really interesting. So for instance, a few weeks ago he was speaking about, he grew up in Hawaii and there's a lot of artillery machine stuff that was left on the beaches after the war, and they were all welded so that they were now defunct and couldn't be used and couldn't harm anyone, and the kids would just like play on them as if they were playgrounds because they were just hunks of metal, right? And there's a big piece of abandoned machinery in Pandora, the world of Avatar, where they've welded the joints the same way to show that that machinery is no longer in use. And that kind of stuff gets me really excited to see the land, no matter how skeptical I am. Now, you were talking a moment ago about the queue for Navi River Journey. Tell me about this. It's a slow-moving, as far as I know, it's a slow-moving boat ride, and then it takes you into the bioluminescent forest of Pandora that was really mind-blowing from a visual effects standpoint when the movie came out. And it's a counterpoint to the thrill ride at Flight of Passage, and something that hopefully the whole family should be able to enjoy. So what did you think of it, Kim?
I enjoyed it. Again, this is one of those, the more you look, the more you see. It's very visually overwhelming. There's so much to see. There's so much to look all around. You've got to ride it multiple times really to get everything that there is to see. It's beautiful. It's relaxing. To me, I feel that there's something missing. And I think part of it has to do with the inclusion of the plant and animal life that's exclusive to Pandora.
Yeah.
I want to know what I'm looking at without having to, go back and remember what I read on visitpandora.com.
Yeah.
And I think here, to me, maybe a narrator or a guide could add to that experience.
Yeah.
Maybe it would distract. I don't know. Like how they do with Kilimanjaro safaris.
Sure.
And you also have that animal identifier on the top where you can kind of look and see, oh, that's this kind of animal. Maybe something like that would help, but maybe it's really simplicity at its best.
You know what would be really cool, actually? I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but with the times guides and the park maps, as soon as you walk into the park, there's an animal location guide. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be neat if there's a mini guide like that actually glowed in the dark that you could take in with you to help identify what some of those creatures were and plants?
That would be really cool. Now, we did see a cast member when my friend Leah and I were looking at the Flasca reclinata, and we knew how to say that one. When we were looking at it, there was a cast member nearby. We didn't know what it was at the time. And there was a cast member, and he had a pamphlet. And he said, I can't let you have this, but you can look at it. And it was much later after the trip when I realized that Visit Pandora had these things. I mean, that would be easy for them to just print out or even hand you on the boat ride, and then you hand them back and you don't have to keep it.
Or maybe embed it on where there would usually be that safety, don't stick your hands and arms outside of the boat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a ride designer, unfortunately, so I don't get much say.
Yeah.
Now, the other big attraction is Flight of Passage, and this is pulling huge weights of over 300 minutes. And it's WDW's newest thrill ride. It's motion simulator that my understanding is it's very similar to Soarin' Around the World, a little bit more similar to that than, say, Star Wars, The Adventures Continue. And it uses a really unique vehicle system that has guests ride straddling their seat, a little bit similar to the way that Tron Light Cycle Power Run looks. So tell me more about this.
Yeah, this is now my new favorite attraction in all of Walt Disney World. Sorry, Haunted Mansion.
You love Haunted Mansion.
I know, it's my favorite. This is so completely immersive. It's an experience you cannot watch on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. You can't. You're not supposed to video record the actual ride anyway. I'm sure it's already happened. I have no desire to search for it because you cannot watch this experience on YouTube. The queue is also what I'm guessing, I don't know 100%, is the longest on property. Mm. I've never seen a queue this long in my life. Although I highly suggest using a fast pass because that's how you're going to get on quicker at this point in time. But you still may want to try the queue once if the wait is reasonable, like in the early morning or in the late evening, like right before park closing, just to see the incredible details that they've included in the queue. The lab, which is one area, there's 5 different areas you go through. Mm-hmm. The lab is the area that you see a lot of pictures of online that features the 10-foot floating Navi. I had no idea how large this Navi was just by pictures, and then seeing it floating, it was really amazing. There are 2 pre-show videos that you watch. So even if you haven't seen the movie, it really catches you up to speed on what you're about to experience. And the pre-show introduces you to the Navi language a little bit. They say Savako, which means rise to the challenge. So it kind of makes you feel like you're really a part of this experience that you're going to encounter momentarily. And then the ride itself is breathtaking. You really feel like you're riding on the back of a banshee. You feel the banshee breathe. There are smells that are similar to soaring, and you even feel water mist your face, so you have a combined another element even.
What do you mean that you feel the banshee breathe?
Okay, so you mentioned that you're sitting on, it's like a bike that you're sitting on. I mean, that's what it looks like when you get into it. But the side of it, against your legs, because your legs are locked in. They lock in your legs, they lock in your back, so you're not going to go anywhere. And the side, you can feel it breathing against your legs. That
sounds like very bizarre, but very amazing.
Yeah, you have to, I said it's really immersive. You have to focus on flying. You know, not looking down at your ride vehicle while you're riding, but if you focus on
that suspension of disbelief.
Yes, and you feel the banshee breathing. I didn't tell my husband that the banshee did that, and when we got off, he was like, "I could feel it breathing." And I'm like, "I know, that's so amazing."
That's awesome. I know that you mentioned the pre-show videos can catch people up if they haven't seen the movie, but it's a good thing to note that Pandora, the World of Avatar, is actually set many years after the events of the movie were supposed to take place. So it's less about living out the movie like you would on maybe Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid, which basically just recounts the story, and more about exploring that world further beyond where the movie ends. And you know, the sequels are coming out. They could be set at a later date. That's purely speculation at this point. Now, back to Flight of Passage. Are there restrictions on who can experience the ride? I know there's a height requirement, but I've heard a lot of issues about guests who are taller or larger or those with mobility concerns.
Yeah, I really wish everyone could experience this, just because it's just one of those things that you have to experience to get, you know what I mean? You really do. But unfortunately, if you can't transfer from a wheelchair, which, by the way, outside of the attraction, right in front, there's a sign where you can actually, test a ride vehicle out. They have a sign that says they give you 30 seconds to transfer from a wheelchair. 30 seconds. So if you can't do it in 30 seconds, you can't experience the ride. I really hope they make.
If I could transfer from a wheelchair, and I'm fully able-bodied at this point.
I know. I don't know where they, why it's 30 seconds, and it may just be one of those timing things. I don't know why they had 30 seconds, but I hope they can make a change where someone in a wheelchair could at least experience it in some way, and maybe it's a modified way, but somehow stay in their chair and still experience it.
Yeah.
Taller or heavier guests might not be comfortable. If the chair doesn't lock into place because of size, you will not be able to ride. Again, that's where it's kind of good that they put a ride vehicle out front where you can test it out before you wait in line and then find out you can't ride.
For 5 hours and then find out you can't ride, I would not.
But I mean, just by watching social media, there seems to be a lot of different sized people, tall, larger, that have been able to ride. So it probably just depends on your individual distribution.
For sure.
And a lot of it has to do with being able to get your knees into the right spot so that the mechanism can come up behind you and lock.
Got it.
If you have motion sickness, I would not rule this ride out, because I have motion sickness and I take Dramamine, and I was fine on it.
Good to know.
To me, it's a cross between Star Tours and soaring. If you can handle those, this is not going to be a problem. Star Tours is kind of iffy for me, but if I take a Dramamine, I'm fine. And this was the same way.
That back row, can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I just have to, grin and bear it, because I just love Star Wars that I'm like, all right, give me something to, Dramamine or something, and I'll do it.
Now, let's talk about my favorite topic, food. There's a new quick service restaurant called Satuli Canteen.
I love Satuli. I have already eaten there 3 times, and I
Wow.
can't wait to go back. I ate there yet. Well, maybe it might be 4 actually. 3 or 4 times in the past 2 visits, and I was there in June, and then I was there again in July, and I
They make
love it.
like bowls, right, where you pick like a base and a protein and a sauce.
Yeah, the herb dressing's my favorite.
Mm.
They have tofu, chicken, beef. I tried all 3 of them and loved all of them. I did not branch out from the herb dressing though. I used that on all 3 of those, so I haven't tried the others.
So maybe it's just the magical herb dressing.
It might be. The desserts are interesting. I tried both of the desserts, the chocolate one and the blueberry
They
cheesecake.
look really beautiful.
They are very pretty. I can't say that I love them. I can't say that I dislike them. They're very different. The texture is very different.
Interesting.
And what my favorite, well, I don't know if it's my favorite part because the actual food is my favorite part, but there are actual plates and silverware that they use. So it really feels like a table service restaurant, but it's still quick service.
Much like something like Be Our Guest.
Yeah, yeah.
And the food's a little fancier than, say, chicken nuggets and pizza, so that probably contributes to it too. Now, I know that at Satuli Canteen, they also, in addition to the bowls, they offer like steamed bao pods, basically, with different, I think there's a vegetable curry filling and a cheeseburger filling. I'm sure my husband will try the cheeseburger filling while we're there. And then they serve breakfast too, where there's some interesting French toast and different egg options and steamed bun, bao, pod, whatever you're gonna call them, breakfast pods as well. So that's really interesting. And I know that there's a snack stand called Pongu Pongu where they sell, I might be getting the pronunciation on this wrong, but I think it's a pineapple and cream cheese lumpia, which looks like kind of like a spring rolly pastry deliciousness filled with pineapple and cream cheese, which sounds right up my alley. They also have a signature non-alcoholic beverage that I can't wait to try that is called a Night Blossom, and it's like layered slushes, I think a green apple slush and a desert pear slush with boba balls on top.
It is so good.
It looks really good and refreshing.
It is so good. That's my favorite.
And then there's also beer and wine offerings at Satuli Canteen, and I think Pongu Pongo as well, but they are specific to Pandora, including a green beer. So I like the attention to detail. I love it when they don't just sell exactly what every other snack stand or every other quick service restaurant is. I think that is really where Disney makes a difference in quick service dining.
And I was excited about the food here because, I mean, if we're in a alien planet world, there's got to be some different things, and they really had this option to go out and try different things, and
I hope that the crowds really respond to it well, because I know sometimes they try something different, like at Skipper Canteen they had a lot of out there dishes and they kind of dialed it back a little bit because people wanted a steak on the menu, and that's fine. But I hope that this stays very different, and because I think it's really interesting. Now, you can use the mobile order app at Satuli Canteen, which can definitely cut down on those wait times. And nearby, there's a gift shop called Wind Traders, right?
Yes, correct. You get a lot of Pandora merchandise there, and when you come out of Flight of Passage, you can go through.
Right, exit through the gift shop.
And you can make your own avatar. I did not get my own avatar. I watched.
Is it like the Build-A-Droid?
No. You they scan your face. You sit in a chair, and they
It's a Han Solo thing.
Yeah, and then they create it, and we watched. I don't know the time lapse in between, but we watched somebody get theirs out of the machine, which a cast member goes with you, and then they do all these buttons and everything, and then their avatar comes out in a little box. Looks pretty neat, but I did not get one.
Sure.
We wanted to adopt a Banshee, which I don't know if they're still.
I haven't heard that they're back in stock yet, but hopefully any day now. FanGirls, if you're at Pandora World of Avatar, let us know when the Banshees are back in stock.
I know. We even went, we went at park opening one day. That's when we saw the line for, Flight of Passage, and no luck. So we got a Starbucks instead.
Oh, Starbucks is a pretty good consolation prize.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, they spent who knows how much money on this? A lot, like $1 billion or $2 billion, and I'm not being facetious. It's a huge amount of money like that for a land with only 2 attractions. And this seems to be the norm. With Toy Story Land, we're seeing 2 attractions. Neither one of them are what I would call e-ticket attractions. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, we are not really, at least one of those will be an e-ticket. They could both be e-tickets where we don't have enough information on those rides yet. But even when they redid Fantasyland, it's not like they added a ton of new attractions to it. They kind of rethemed some areas and added a couple attractions. This seems like a huge amount of money to be spending on not a lot more guest capacity, to be honest.
Yeah, that bothers me, especially seeing, again, what's happening now with Toy Story Land and then Star Wars Galaxy's Edge with these 2 attractions. The only thing I can really think that they might be doing is, 2 to open, and in a few years, let's say, oh, we got another one, instead of giving...
Similar to what Wizarding World has done.
Yeah, everything all at once. And I'm hoping that they do that because, oh my gosh, I would love to see more than 2 in all of those.
It wouldn't be hard for them to add in a kid's ride, even if it was like a spinner ride, like a Dumbo kind of thing where you're riding like little baby banshees around or some other critter around, or I don't know, any number of other kid-oriented rides, especially since they really only have Navi River Journey, and I feel like kids might be scared of that because it's dark.
It's dark, but it's non-scary. It's so relaxing and peaceful, and the music is very peaceful. It's but the darkness, the dark element might be a little scary.
It could also be a really good spot for something like a splash pad where you're getting squirted with different alien plants or something. Or totally other, I don't know. I've only seen Avatar once or twice, and I'm not as familiar with their whole narrative. But I feel like there could be interesting things. I know that they've added the drum show now, which is very cool. But
and even when the drum show's not going on, you can play the drums.
That's really fun. That kind of mirrors what they have going on over in Africa with those drums that are very popular. But what other additions would make sense if they're going to expand Animal Kingdom? I read a rumor this morning that they're going to put an Indiana Jones land in. Now, I love Indiana Jones, and I really love Harrison Ford, a lot. Hi, Harrison.
Harrison, if you're watching.
So much. And I've always thought that Indiana Jones Adventure from California and Tokyo should be at Disney World. I don't know why it's not. So I would love that, and maybe it would fit if they made a South America themed land or something like that, where he's going on an adventure. But other, Australia would make sense. They could develop the land in between Asia and Dinoland USA. The Nemo show's already there. That's kind of a neat gateway. Make a little Marine Institute. I know Marine Institute was supposed to be in California, but let's just say there's a sister location in Australia that's now in Animal Kingdom, if that's not confusing enough for you. What else could they have added that would be more real life?
I would love to see Antarctica because it gets very hot. We visit in July usually. It's very hot. It'd be nice to have a place that has some kind of indoor.
It could be a whole indoor structure like the Little Mermaid area at Tokyo Disney Sea. I may have mentioned this before, but I thought as soon as they announced Pandora that that's what they were going to do, make it an all-indoor nighttime land because of the heat in Animal Kingdom, giving a giant place, a giant pod that you can go and get your AC fix would be really helpful on those hotter days.
Yeah, we need to petition for Antarctica. We'll
get a change.org petition started.
All right, fangirls, get on that.
Now, I also think that they could have dreamed of a whole new mythological land to become a fresh franchise opportunity for Disney. Whatever you think of Avatar, it seems like an expensive way to cut corners on original storytelling and Imagineering and just kind of take over somebody else's work. But what can you do? We cannot wait to see what our fellow fangirls think of Pandora, the world of Avatar. So if you've been there, feel free to share your comments below. And if you haven't, please tell us what you're most looking forward to.
Our Fangirl Spotlight this week features Sigourney Weaver. She plays Dr. Grace Augustine in Avatar. Her character is a xenobotanist that connects humans with their avatars to explore habitat of the Na'vi. She's also slated to appear in Avatar 2 through 4. Yes, 4 are slated. Even though her character died at the end of the original film. Sorry for the spoiler alert if you have not seen it. Sigourney Weaver also voiced her own character in Finding Dory and is the ship's computer voice in WALL-E.
That's very cool. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we have a very special contest opportunity for our fangirls. Basically, you're going to be able to win a Pandora Lithograph, which we'll picture on the screen right now. And it's donated by our very good friend, Shannon Bonadurer at Destinations to Travel. Before we get to the details on how you can enter, I really have to give a big shout out and a thank you to Shannon. She has been a huge supporter of It's a Fangirl World from day one, and her travel agency, Destinations to Travel, is the only one that I recommend for booking your Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise, or Adventures by Disney vacation. All of her agents are so friendly and committed to getting you the best price, and they're super knowledgeable about all things Disney. In fact, when I can't answer something about Disney, Shannon is the first one that I call. So their booking services are totally free, and even though I book a lot of other trips on my own, I always like to have Destinations to Travel in my corner when I go to Disney. You can find them, I put all the links up on the screen for you, but they're at facebook.com/d2travel, they're at d2travel.com, and you can send them an email if you want a quote at info@d2travel, and they can help you plan your best Disney vacation ever. So Kim, tell us about this very cool contest.
Okay, so as Stephanie said, we're going to be giving away a gorgeous Pandora Lithograph. In order to enter to win, there are a few steps that you need to follow. Earlier in the vlog, we mentioned a Na'vi phrase. So think about that phrase. Step 1, you need to write a comment on our YouTube about the video. Doesn't have to be about the phrase. It could be anything about Pandora, something you like, something you can't wait to see, question, anything. Step 2, go to our Facebook page, and under our Pandora vlog post, this is where you're going to write the Na'vi phrase. So you have to comment on YouTube for the first thing, and then you have to post the phrase for the second thing on our Facebook page. Everyone who comments on YouTube and writes the phrase on our Facebook page will be entered to win. The winner will be selected randomly this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live. I will draw the name live on Facebook, so you'll get to see who won.
Thanks, Kim. And thank you all so much for joining us on It's a Fangirl World. We will be back in a few weeks with our next vlog, and so remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss it.
In the meantime, watch our Facebook page where we post new content and connect with our fellow fangirls every day. We'd love to see you there.
And if you want to show off your fangirl pride, our TeePublic store has everything from tees, hoodies, and onesies to notebooks, stickers, device cases, mugs, and more. And we just released some really cool new designs, including our Mountaineer collection. So go check it out at the link on the screen. And when you get your shirt or any of your products, don't forget to take them on your Disney trip and then send us a picture.
If you enjoyed this show, please ask people to share, give our Facebook page a like, or go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a vlog. And don't be shy. Leave us a comment to let us know what topics that you'd love to hear more about.
Until next time, keep living magic, fangirls. Bye.
Bye.